Save $1 on fresh ground hamburger, only $2.99 a pound. Imported broccoli crowns, just $2.99 per pound. Blue Diamond Almond Breeze Milk, $5.99 for select varieties of 64-ounce cartons. Save $2.16 on Schmidt Old Time Honey Wheat or Spit Top Sliced Bread, $3.99 for a 20-ounce loaf. Arm & Hammer Laundry Detergent, $5.99 for select varieties of 50-ounce bottles. Visit our website at www.marketplace.bm for more super specials.
You can count on us.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Friday, May the 3rd, 2019. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us. A Pembroke man is tonight behind bars after being sentenced to 8 years imprisonment for raping a 15-year-old schoolgirl over 3 decades ago. Jasmine Patterson has the details from Supreme Court.
53-year-old Morris O'Brien, now a convicted rapist, exits the Supreme Court in handcuffs, off to spend the next 8 years at the Westgate Correctional Facility. A jury unanimously found O'Brien guilty of raping a 15-year-old schoolgirl in 1988 while she was still a virgin. In her victim impact statement, the woman wrote, "For 39 years, I've had to endure pain and hurt as a result of what he did to me. He left me with terrible emotional scars." She went on to write she suffers from severe bouts of depression and sleeps only 1 to 2 hours per night. She says, "I cry every day and ask why me." Prosecutors say O'Brien showed no remorse and was a friend of the family who sought to persuade the jury that he engaged in consensual acts with the 15-year-old girl while he was aged 23 at the time of the offense. The Crown suggested 10 to 12 years imprisonment. Defense lawyer Archibald Warner argued there's no medical report before the court to show the psychological impact on the victim, adding that a lot of time has passed and his client has no previous convictions and is a man of good character. Before sentencing, O'Brien told the court, quote, "I'm remorseful for what has happened, and looking back, it's something I regret." Justice Carlo Graves today, in delivering his verdict, refuted Mr. Warner's comments, stating that the trial was traumatic, and it's obvious, having observed the woman in court, I am convinced her demeanor was not an act. He added, "To read her evidence is one thing, to witness it live is another. No psychologist can substitute for that." O'Brien was jailed for 8 years with time spent in custody taken into consideration. Elsewhere, 55-year-old Marvin Woolridge pleaded guilty to 6 counts of importing cannabis resin, cocaine, and ecstasy with intent to supply. Prosecutors say in February last year, Woolridge and his ex-fiancée arrived at the Elif Wade International Airport on a flight from the UK. The defendant arrived in a wheelchair, as he told customs officers he was traveling for medical reasons. A canine unit alerted the officers to his suitcase, and clear packages were discovered containing a hard brown substance. He later confessed, quote, "Everything belongs to me. I don't want to hold her up. I'll take full responsibility. I know what's in there." Cannabis resin, cocaine, and ecstasy totals the street value of $231,375. The Crown argued for a minimum of 10 years, taking into consideration his long history of convictions involving drugs. Defense lawyer Archibald Warner argued for no more than 7 years imprisonment, stating that his client has been a lifelong drug addict. He explained Woolridge was offered a deal to bring drugs back to Bermuda and was offered some of the drugs for personal use, but he succumbed. Woolridge told the court, quote, "I have a disease and I'm begging for compassion," adding, "I'm an addict and a mule, not a career smuggler." Justice Graves, however, denounced Woolridge's claim of not being a conman, given the length he went to manipulate authorities. Woolridge was jailed for 8 years with time in custody taken into consideration. He must also be considered for drug rehabilitation programs. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Jasmine. In other news, he has been in the cabinet for nearly 2 weeks now, having been handpicked by Premier David Byrd to replace Walton Brown Jr., who was abruptly sacked. Now, Wayne Ferbert, the Minister for the Cabinet Office, says he is hitting the ground running in terms of his ministerial duties. Shirai Trott asked him about his new role.
Any remarks on your new position in the cabinet? You've just come aboard once again. Your second time in the cabinet in the PLP government.
I heard you say second time running, but I've been in cabinet before. I've served 5 years in another place, 2 years in 2010 as Minister of Economic Development and Tourism, and now I'm back under the present government under the leadership of the Premier David Byrd. I thank him for for asking me to come back in. I believe I have a lot to offer. For 2 years, you may be aware that I was chairman of the Economics Committee, the Efficiency Committee, I should say, and we did a significant amount of work in there. Hopefully, I'll be laying that report before Parliament in the next couple of weeks, so you can see the work that we did on behalf of the government and the people of Bermuda.
Coming up, a new tourism effort, the latest weather news, and more. Stay with us.
I got these for seasickness last week, and they're terrible.
That's strange.
I know. I put one behind each ear like you're supposed to, and nothing happened.
These are tablets. You're meant to take them with water.
I got this pump for my asthma. Hasn't changed anything.
Show me how you're using it. It's an inhaler. You're meant to breathe it in.
Well, this toothpaste, definitely off.
It's a hemorrhoid cream.
Well, that explains why my gums are shrinking.
It was 5 days before Christmas. I will never forget that. I went for a regular 20-week checkup to see how the baby was doing. They said, your daughter has a half a heart. Her heart is damaged beyond repair. And I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure? And she said, yes. There's nothing we could do to help your daughter. New York Presbyterian Hospital said, yes, we'll take her. And yes, they did. We knew that Jenna would need a heart transplant. Dr. Badger actually said, you have to do the 3 surgeries to give her a fighting chance. Everybody else gave up. They never gave up. I would tell the entire New York Presbyterian Hospital, you guys are our angels. You guys are always there for Jenna.
Welcome back. Tourism officials have stepped up efforts to entice more African Americans to visit Bermuda in a bid to get in on a $1 billion travel market. The Tourism Authority's Glenn Jones, who is the Chief Experience and Development Officer, told Try Trot today research indicates that African Americans would be interested in Bermuda's history and culture.
The BTA has an ambitious goal to double the number of African American air leisure visitors by the year 2025, Glenn. Why is this demographic valuable to the Bermuda Tourism Authority?
So as part of the National Tourism Plan research, we did a lot of focused examination of our focus cities, who our target market is in those focus cities. Those cities are places like New York and Boston and Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia. And when we did that analysis, we realized that there were a large number of African American travelers who fit into our target market. But then when we looked at the amount of African Americans who were choosing Bermuda, the number relative to what we found in our research was low. So we saw that gap as a tremendous opportunity that the country has between now and 2025. Currently, about 4% of our leisure air visitors are African American. But when we look at our research, 11.5% fit that demographic profile. So over the next 6 years, we believe we can double the number, taking it from 4 to 8. And then we'll have a better representation of that audience in our visitor profiles.
It has been felt that African Americans or the African American market has not been a priority for Bermuda tourism going back decades. Is this the case?
I think that's incorrect. I mean, if our focus was travelers who fit our target audience, and we have 4 target audiences that we're pursuing as part of the National Tourism Plan. There are people of all ethnicities in that group. So we certainly are not excluding anybody. What I think what the research suggests is that there is a specific opportunity, a business opportunity for Bermuda that can be realized if we do 2 things. One thing is we say extend the invitation. Actually go to this audience and say Bermuda is right for you. And then the second part is to make an emotional connection. And we think Bermuda's history and culture has the potential to make a unique connection to African American travelers. And so if we highlight the Black experience from a historical perspective, Caribbean influences from a heritage perspective, we think we will have a really solid invitation to extend to this audience. The other research that was done as part of this is by a company called Mandela, and they say the African American travel market is $63 billion annually. And they say the biggest section of those travelers are someone that they refer to as cultural travelers, cultural African American travelers. Well, in our language, we have an audience called experience enthusiasts. And we think in our target cities, African Americans make up a large percentage of experience enthusiasts. So if we can start presenting unique cultural opportunities to this audience that they can emotionally connect with because the stories are relevant to their own history, then we can seize this opportunity and double that number from 4 to 8.
Turning to weather news, yet another stunning Bermuda day today. Let's go to AccuWeather headquarters for the latest.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast has been brought to you by the BF&M Insurance Group. We've had some great weather over the past few days, all week long. It's been a winner in the weather department here at ZBM and across Bermuda. We've been in excellent shape. Now, this storm system off to the west is a slow-moving system, and it's been producing some heavy showers into eastern parts of Florida, Georgia, into the Carolina coast. Most of the rain is offshore, and the fish don't care so much, but this has been a slow-moving system, and it's going to continue to move to the west and northwest of our location. The broad view of satellite estimated rain is way off to the west. We can see a few showers. Otherwise, we are surrounded by hundreds of miles of rain-free air. We're in the low 70s, 73 degrees right now. Humidity is holding around 70%. Light wind from the northwest at 5 to 10 knots. Water temps holding at 76 degrees, and we've had flat water. In fact, it's been really great for the boaters out there, as long as you're not a sailor. If you have a sailboat, you need a little more wind to push you along than what we've had over the past few days, but waves on the inside still around a foot or flatter. On the outside, we're back up to 2 to 4 feet. Eventually, though, over the next 24 hours, the wave heights will increase, and for the first time in a while, a small craft warning will be in effect beginning Saturday night because of larger waves, as that storm system to the west will pass to our northwest, and the waves will begin to pick up as the winds increase. And as we look at the tides here, tides coming in, high tide coming up soon at 8:47 this evening, low tide overnight, high tide at 9:03 in the morning, and then we have a mid-afternoon low tide on Saturday with still decent boating weather until we get into tomorrow night. Mainly clear, great weather tonight. We'll get down to 68 degrees tomorrow. The high temperature will match the water temp at around 76. Sunshine, a few clouds. No weather complaints tomorrow. And then eventually we'll watch as rain increases in our forecast for the first time in days. It's been about a week. By the time we get into showers returning late Sunday. Down into the Caribbean, we have Jamaica looking good, 88 degrees there. Barbados, 88. Trinidad, crazy 8s for everybody for the highs. And we have scattered showers into the windward islands. They'll be spotty, though. And the only tropical threat, and this isn't a real tropical threat, but the National Hurricane Center of the U.S. has been tracking about a 10% chance that that system near the Georgia-Florida line might become more organized and possibly become the first tropical or subtropical depression of the season. It's pretty unlikely. It's a 1 in 10 chance. In other words, a 90% chance that it does not get its act together. And that's how we like it this time of the year here, still waiting for the official start of hurricane season. Regardless, whatever it is, mainly an area of low pressure, will pass to our north, and that'll be about it. Down into the gateway forecast we go. Toronto looking good, 57 degrees. Showers here and there into New York City, at least early Saturday, then a break. Boston, wet weather holds on a bit longer, 10 degrees cooler there. Atlanta is stormy. Some storms could be severe Saturday night into Atlanta. A little stormy into Miami as well, and some spring showers are in the forecast for London. We will have some showers of our own return Sunday afternoon. Monday is wet. Tuesday, spotty showers and thunderstorms, slightly cooler into Wednesday.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
My name is Kevin Roberts. I'm a taxi driver / ambassador. My father's was BF&M, so am I. Half of my family always seemed to be with Bermuda Fire Marine. I tried a different provider at one time, but I wasn't too happy with the competition. Because then it took too long to settle claims. They questioned every claim, and I never really had that problem with BF&M. I'm quite happy with it.
And you're watching the Friday edition of Bermuda Tonight. The Simons Brothers Band is touring the island of Bermuda and bringing music to the primary schools in hopes to not only inspire, but provide new musical instruments to students. Maya Palacio has more.
18-year-old guitarist Jonathan Simons, 13-year-old drummer Leonardo Simons, and 16-year-old pianist Solomon Simons are known as the Simons Brothers. Today they travel to Elliott Primary School to inspire through music.
Music is a really big part of our culture as a whole. Bermuda is really made up of big music names like the Tolbert Brothers and the Gumbes and all these things that are just falling off with history. They're going back, and we're trying to bring that importance back to them.
Too often, arts and music are the first programs cut in schools during an economic crisis. The Simons Brothers hope to change that by providing instruments to primary schools and giving discounted music lessons.
We're supporting the children who do start music, and we want to encourage them. So they would send us a picture of them doing the music lessons, and they would be like #inspire. So we're trying to start that up, and we're also getting funds to support the music programs at these schools to get them new equipment and musical instruments, just to make their class overall better and make sure that it doesn't fall away. Because music is always put to the side sometimes, like when it comes to budget cuts and whatnot. So we really want to make sure that they're supported and well encouraged.
Jordan Renfro is a first-year music teacher at Elliott. He says this is the first time the school has had a full-time music teacher. And having the Simons Brothers perform for the students is like seeing Bermudian heritage unfold.
Hopefully this is kind of like the Kickstarter where we have more of the musicians come in and really take a part in the community, and then the kids want to give back. So I think when we have more of that group feel come into it, like not just singular musicians, but the group come in, I think it's more of like a we are Bermuda and this is our heritage to be together.
The students of Elliott were enjoying the band. Guitarist Jonathan Simons credits his parents, Winnow and Andre Simons, for pushing them into their craft and encourages other parents to do the same.
If you can, show your kids something new. If it's music, if it's arts, and get behind them for whatever they do. Because our parents, they were behind us 100%. They pushed us. They're still pushing us to this day. So parents have to get involved.
The next tour will be on May 6th at St. George's Prep. Local musicians who can help give back to the music departments can contact the band at simonsbrothersbands@gmail.com. I'm Maya Palacio, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Maya. Look like the kids are having lots of fun. Well, Earl Baser will have all the latest sports news after the break. Stay tuned.
Fresh Harvest Land boneless chicken breast, $7.99 per pound for all varieties. Save $3 on juicy red ripe strawberries, $4.99 for a 1-pound package. Save $1 on fresh Portuguese rolls, $4.99 for a package of 6. A sweet treat, Magnum ice cream bars, $5.39 for a 3-pack. 20% off all varieties and sizes of Rachel Ray's pet food. Visit our website at www.marketplace.bm for more super specials.
You can count on us.
Standard health benefit isn't about guaranteeing the establishment of business. It's about ensuring that everyone has equal access to services that are agreed upon as being essential. What do we consider essential? Well, ultimately, it's up to you. Standard health benefit and the premium that you pay isn't the Bermuda Health Council's money. This isn't money entitled to any insurance company or any specific provider. This is money that belongs to the people. That's a pool of $360 million that is set aside for every member of the 63,799 residents of Bermuda to have access to the kind of things that are necessary. We have found over time that maybe standard health benefit could be used better. We understand that much of the focus has been on care when you get sick instead of prevention. We found that there are services that you need that will help to keep you healthy, but you're finding a hard time to afford them. You've told us in telephone calls and surveys and letters and even emotional pleas on the side of the road that you want better support. You want to be able to afford your prescription medication. You want to visit your eye doctor or your dentist and not have hundreds of dollars in copays. You want to have a change of course in diabetes and hypertension and get local treatment for your cancer. You want to have support for your daughter when she goes into labor and for that newborn in case they need to be flown overseas. This is what you've been asking for, and for it to be paid within that $360 million. We hear you, and now are putting your thoughts into action. We now have an opportunity to close gaps, build bridges, and heal wounds. This is our opportunity to come together around a common purpose of better health and around creating a better health system for not only this generation, but for generations to come. This is indeed about your health, and this is indeed about your money.
Earl Bazin has tonight's sports roundup.
Bermuda's Steve Wilson and Omar Hayward continue competing in the Bocce World Open going on in Montreal, Canada. Wilson would take on Alison Levine from Canada in their individual BC4 division match, with Wilson going down 7-3. In his individual BC1 division match, Hayward took on Bridge Mason from the United States. Hayward would pick up a 13-0 win. Tyler Smith will line up for the 2019 Monterrey Camtri Triathlon American Championships, which will take place in Monterrey, Mexico this weekend. Smith is looking forward to the competition in this, his second race of the season.
Definitely a strong field out here. Most of the top guys from the region have come out here in search for Olympic points ahead of Tokyo, as this is one of the qualifying events for that, along with the World Cups and WTSs. So for our region, it's a really important event for those people looking to go to Tokyo. So it's brought out really the top guys in the region. After the first race of the year I had, I was happy with my results, especially on the swim and the bike, to know that I'm there. And recently I ran a 10K PB, so I think I'm in good form. And I think especially amongst the under 23 category, my hope would be to get a top 5 or on the podium. And then in the senior race, which is run together, I would certainly be looking to try to be in the top 15 or top 10.
The Bermuda Open Volleyball Tournament got underway inside the Work Academy Gymnasium last evening with a host of matches taking place. Mount Allison out of Canada finished undefeated on the night, while the Island Spice team won 2 of their games and went down in the other. Mount Allison defeated Island Time 25-5, 25-17. They then defeated the Bermuda Under-18 national team 25-17, 25-21 before defeating the Paradise Hitters 25-4, 25-8. The Island Spice team defeated the Bermuda Under-18 junior club team 25-15, 25-14. They would fold to the Bermuda Masters team 25-15, 25-23 before closing out, defeating Island Time 25-15, 25-19. Trey Mallory continued competing in the Montego Bay Junior Jamaica Cup Tennis Tournament. Mallory and Russell Armstrong from the British Virgin Islands needed a tiebreaker to advance to the doubles semifinal. Mallory and Armstrong defeated Agustin Damiano from Argentina and Andy Zhu from Canada in a 3-set battle. Damiano and Zhu won the first set 6-2, but Mallory and Armstrong would fight back to win the second set 6-2. In the third and final set, Mallory and Armstrong would prevail, winning 10-4. The Bermuda Football Association is advising that the association will have tickets to sell to all fans wishing to travel to Costa Rica, Texas, and New Jersey to support the men's national team during the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Updates on ticketing details will be forthcoming as soon as confirmation is received from CONCACAF, which the association anticipates receiving no later than next week. If you have any questions, contact the Bermuda Football Association office at 295-2199. Dalwood Middle School won the Bermuda School Sports Federation's Middle School Boys Super 8 Cricket Tournament at the National Sports Center yesterday after defeating Sand Secondary Middle School in the final by 3 runs. Dalwood batted first in the final and scored 55 runs. Sand started their innings off fast but fell just short of their target. Dalwood defeated Whitney Institute in their semifinal, while Sands defeated T.N. Tatum in the other by 34 runs. points. Due to light conditions yesterday, the Bermuda International Invitational Sailing Race Week did not resume on the Great Sound. The current provisional standings for the overall series in the International One Design Fleet Varengian Gold Cup has Peter Wickwire, the defending champion, in first place with 14 net points, well ahead of second place Mark Windsor, who has 26 net points. Patrick Cooper rounds out the top three with 31 net points. The Wednesday night sailing series continued in the Hamilton Harbor, where 25 boats went to the start line for race day 2. Nasty Madison was the first boat to cross the line on the night, clocking a time of 53.27, and with the corrected time of 58.19, saw them finish first on the night. The next boat to cross the line was Cyclone, who was clocked at 1:02.37, but the corrected time of 1:04.07 saw them finish sixth on the night. With the corrected time of 1:01.16, saw Menace finish second on the night. This after they were clocked across the line in a time of 1:08.06. Solana 2 finished third on the night with a corrected time of 1:01.18. Smokin' was fourth with a corrected time of 1:01.23. And Air Force rounded out the top 5 finishers with a corrected time of 1:01.49. A total of 220 points were scored in the latest round of the Bermuda Basketball League that took place inside the Bermuda College Gymnasium. Game 1 saw the Somerset Tsunamis defeat the St. George's Hoop Stars 68-50. Dean Jones led the Somerset Tsunamis with a double-double. He would score 16 points and grab 16 rebounds. He also added 5 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block shot. Leano Mills scored 16 points for the St. George's Hoop Stars. He also had 9 rebounds, 1 assist, and 3 steals. In the nightcap, the Pembroke Skyforce defeated the Hamilton Parish Rockets 59-43. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Hey Smokey, let's get lunch from the Marketplace Food Court. You know what? That sounds good. They have oxtails, pumpkin, curried lamb, lemon chicken, sweet and sour ribs, vegetable stir fry, and the variety goes on.
Their chefs are good. They'll set you right up with all the good carvings.
And don't forget the special dishes from the islands.
It don't matter. Well, no matter what you feel like eating, Marketplace will have it.
You know, it's quick, it's quality, and at prices you can count on.
Visit us 7 days a week. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Made for you daily at the Hamilton Marketplace Food Court.
Surface Terms has been serving Bermuda for over 25 years, supplying and installing tile and natural stone. We have a large in-stock selection of beautiful porcelain wood planking, including our exclusive Bermuda cedar tile. You will also find Bermuda's best in-stock selection of countertops, including natural granites, exotic quartzites, and silestone engineered quartz in all the newest colors. Our team will be happy to help you. Stop by our showroom at 17 Serpentine Road or give us a call at 295-8005.
March and April's been pretty good training-wise, and a lot of miles. Looking excited to come on next month. The history is everything. It's only the one race where everyone really comes out in terms of support. Many a times you can win any race on the island, but if you don't win May 24th, it doesn't really count. So your season really depends on your May 24th outcome. Both courses are challenging. If one's more challenging than the other, Bermuda's typically a very hilly population, so there's no really flat and fast courses there. So I expect challenges from the course in itself. I don't think I'll ever feel as pressured as I was in 2016 when I hadn't won it before. That was the most pressure. Now I won it twice. I definitely head into the race much different. I want to run fast. I've never really beaten anyone. I've never beaten a former champion or previous champion. I sometimes call it cheap victories. In that 2016, I beat Trey Simons when he came off a really hard collegiate season. 2018, last year, I beat Sean Trutton.
When it's happening now, you can't beat the immediacy of radio.
Chance to hear the thoughts of acclaimed author.
No matter where you are.
I'm Darlene Livingston with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
When events are spectacular, television is by far the best media platform.
Why now, this particular topic?
For sports action, well, need we say more? Broadcast reporters put elected officials on the spot, keeping them honest and accountable to voters. And they can explain things in ways we all understand.
Climbs up to 12.5%.
Broadcast news is important. We're your eyes and ears on the ground.
I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us tonight.
In good times and bad. Radio's your constant companion.
On the big station, Power 95.
And TV news is the news.
Based on what you're seeing.
And Bermuda Broadcasting is your station.
And that's our newscast. I'm Diane Brewer. Thanks for sharing your Friday evening with us, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Good night.